What's up guys, ArchAngel Manga here, and I've been tagged, like a manga sort of tag. I was tagged by InsidiousSwede. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below, along with like the video of his like sort of, the questions that he answered, and a link to the original video of the person who created the original tag. So I'm going to be answering like 15 questions here, so I'm kind of gonna go through this a little bit quick. But I thought they were pretty interesting questions. Most of them, kind of relevant to, myself and, the collection that I have, barring one question. But I'm going to answer them all. Got them here on my phone. So the first question was, what was your first manga? First manga, Dragon Ball Z, which is probably most people's first manga. I first started collecting this when I was 14, so like I've had these for like 10 years now, just coming to 10 years, so yeah, Dragon Ball Z was my first manga. Still to this day love it. What was your most expensive manga? That's the second question. Most expensive manga. Now I'm gonna answer this in terms of like individual manga, like an actual the most I've ever spent on an individual volume of manga rather than like an entire series of manga, because spending money on an entire series is going to be an expensive purchase anyway. So usually when it comes to expensive manga, they're usually out of print, and the most money I spent on a manga is Monster Volume 5. Which I paid £25 for, stupidly. I no longer buy out of print series because of this reason, because they just bankrupt you, and usually series will end up getting a reprint like this did, so I'm kind of kicking myself that I started even buying the individual volumes for Monster, because obviously they're getting the 2-in-1 reprint this year from Viz. But yeah, £25 this sent me back, that could have gotten me like 4 or 5, standard volumes, so anyway, I own it now, so whatever. Let's see, next question. What was your least expensive manga? Well, my least expensive manga were samples, actually. A Vampire Knight free sample. None of these cost me a thing. I don't even know if I like Vampire Knight, but because it was free anyway, I picked it up. And then every year they have free comic book day at like Travelling Man. So got a Rurouni Kenshin restoration. It's like half and half with Dragon Ball, little mini sort of manga thing from Comic Book Day, and this is what I got a few years ago, Shonen Jump Special, which has like the first chapter of Ultimo, which is from the creator of Shaman King, and Stan Lee sort of teamed up to create Ultimo. I still haven't read it, but yeah, they were free, so why not? So my phone has just gone dead. The next question. What is the most boring manga you own? This was a difficult question because a lot of the manga I own I enjoy, but I do tend to blind buy a lot of my manga if I've either heard good stuff about it or if I've just sort of seen it coming up in my recommended sort of recommended to you playlist sort of thing. So I ended up buying Drifters by Kuta Hirano, which is the same creator of Hellsing. I read the first volume and it just didn't grip me at all. I was just kind of forcing myself to read it. When I got like a quarter of the way through. I just didn't enjoy it at all. I know that some people really enjoy this series, and obviously it's by the creator of Hellsing, so he's a well-renowned, big-time mangaka, but I just didn't like it. I'll probably end up reading Hellsing though at some point, because I really enjoyed the Hellsing Ultimate anime, which I did a review of. Pardon me. Let's see, what is your favourite manga series? It's probably the hardest question in this list, because I have a lot of favourites, and favourite manga is kind of like a really vague term, because what kind of manga, is it shonen, seinen, what genre, what demographic am I supposed to be favouring towards, and that's not a really question. That's not a question I really know the answer to myself. But if I had to pick some of my favourites, then I would at least pick. Let's see, hold on, I wrote it down in here somewhere. Yeah, these are like 3 of like my sort of most favourite series: Parasite, Hitoshi Iwaki, One Piece, probably my favourite shonen, obviously Ichiro Oda, everybody knows that, and Naoki Urasawa's 20th Century Boys, another seinen. Yeah, these are just like masterpiece series that everybody should at least read once, especially when it comes to Hitoshi Iwaki and Naoki Urasawa. There's no point really saying it about One Piece, because everybody reads One Piece or watches One Piece anyway. Or at least the majority does, like 99% of the fan base. Anyway, next question. Let's see. What is the most relatable manga that you own? This is the one question in the entire list that I couldn't really answer, because I read manga to sort of like escape not that I have, you know, like problems or anything like that, but, you know, manga is like, it's a form of escapism, so anytime I'm reading a manga, I never have like a personal attachment to like a particular character or story where I feel like, oh wow, this is so similar to me or similar to my life, because a lot of the manga that I own are like fantasy or, you know, have really dark themes, so there isn't really any manga that can relate to me on a level, on a real personal level, because, you know, I essentially read manga to, you know, experience something that's completely different from my own life. So unfortunately, I don't have any manga that is relatable to me, or there are no characters that I know of as of yet that are relatable to me in any way. So I'm going to have to move on to the next question, which is, what is one manga that you own that is based off of an anime? Now, obviously, as a lot of you will know, you know, the kind of structure and, you know, formation of how, you know, animes are created is, you know, that they will sort of take, you know, they'll take the original source material, being the manga, and use that as a template to create the anime, and, you know, kind of tweak it and, you know, twitch it around to kind of allow it to transition better into another medium. So usually when, you know, a manga is based off an anime, you'll get a completely, you know, weird sort of different story, as, you know, telling the story through the medium of manga is a lot different than telling the story through the medium of anime. So, you know, that's an interesting question nonetheless. I don't want to sort of prattle on, but I've got a few selections here that obviously everybody knows. Neon Genesis Evangelion, the famous Gainax anime, made into a manga by Yoshiyuki Sadimoto, who was also the character designer for Wolf Children, which I didn't know. He's also the character designer for the Wolf Children manga, and as well as the anime. And Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, based off the original anime from the 1970s, which I still haven't seen, but the manga is great. Alright, next question. My phone keeps going. My phone keeps going to sleep. Question 8. What is your rarest manga? That's the easiest one. I'll pick this up straight away. My Battle Royale Ultimate Edition volumes from Tokyo Pop before they went bust. Probably the only hardback releases that I know of that Tokyo Pop ever released, at least in English. I think there's some hardback Tokyo Pop releases in German, but, you know, obviously I don't speak German or read German, so I never bothered to pick them up. But yeah, these are incredibly rare. Volume 1 I think you can still get for a reasonably good price, but obviously you can't get them for the original manufacturer because they're not being printed anymore. Obviously Tokyo Pop went bust, as everybody knows. But the later volumes, like volume 5 is like the rarest one, and that can fluctuate between £100 and £700. You know, it violently fluctuates up and down, which is the reason why I've never been able to pick it up, because volume 5 of the Ultimate Editions is the only one that I need. I've got volumes 1 to 4. So yeah, that's a bummer. Alright, question 9 I believe we're on, right? One of your reprinted manga, printed in the past but printed again by another company, that would be Yotsuba. This is originally printed by ADV Manga. Obviously ADV went bust along with like their anime business, so it was picked up again by Yen Press. Yeah, pretty cool. What's the next one? Oh, I zoomed in a second there. Question 10. The most popular manga series you own? Well, I guess you could say any of the big three. I've obviously got Naruto here, got Bleach down there, which I can't bother getting out. Obviously I've shown you my One Piece already. But probably I'd say the most world-renowned, you know, even above them would be Dragon Ball Z. I mean, even if, you know, a person isn't a fan of anime or manga, they've at least heard of Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, probably Dragon Ball Z is my most popular manga. Question 11. What is the most damaged manga you own? Well, I've got a volume of Monster here, Monster Volume 4, which is in terrible condition. You can't see from, you know, this distance, but it was an ex-library copy, and it came with like really bad sort of stickers and, you know, sort of book protectors that basically just like completely F up your book when you try and peel them off. I was stupid, I tried to peel it off and completely destroyed the cover, so it's all like, it's like tissue paper now. It's really, really bad. I mean, it's in a readable condition, but, you know, it's practically falling apart. I even had to glue like the spine back to the pages at one point because it was just that, you know, that damaged. But it didn't cost me that much, so I don't mind. Let's see. Question 12. Which manga has the most amazing art? For this, I picked Akira. Probably one of my favourite seinen manga series of all time. I was going to pick Vagabond, but I noticed InsidiousSwede already picked that, so I'll probably tie Vagabond and Akira with each other. But yeah, this is just got some amazing art. This is only like the first volume, and it just kind of, it gets even better. Seriously, it's just amazing. And because obviously Kodansha and Dark Horse Manga printed this in like a larger sort of trim size, like you can really appreciate the art style a lot more because it's on bigger pages and the panels are much bigger, so you don't really have to struggle with with your eyes. Let's see, all this manga published that you own. Now this was, I didn't really know how to answer this question at first. Like I didn't know if I was supposed to answer this in the terms of the oldest sort of individual manga volume, how old it was, the actual book was, but kind of stumbling on my words there. Or if I was supposed to pick a series that was published like, years ago, but like recently published again, but so I ended up going with that. And that's Osamu Tezuka's The Mysterious Underground Men, which was published, I believe, in the 1940s. It was published in English just like last year, but the manga itself is really old. So yeah, I picked that, The Mysterious Underground Men, Osamu Tezuka. I think it's published by Picture Box, which is a pretty obscure company. Let's see, newest published manga you own, Attack on Titan. This is obviously an ongoing series. I think it's like the newest sort of up-to-date series that I own. I'm actually, considering that the English releases are, pretty closely caught up to the Japanese releases. These chapters that are in this book, volume 11, I think were published like last year. I think they were released last year. In whatever manga anthology it's serialized in. So yeah, Attack on Titan. I think this is the last question. A recent manga that you purchased. Well, if you've watched my last video, then you know this already, and that was Berserk Volume 1, which I'm totally hyped about. I started reading the first chapter of this already, and I'm really liking it so far. So yeah, that's my manga tag video. Again, check out the video of the original creator. I think her name's something Sakura or something. Obviously check out InsidiousSwede's video. I guess maybe I should tag a few people myself. I'll tag Countmaker, Immortalium, NZ Anime Manga. Should I do a fourth? Maybe should I tag something? No, I'll just leave it at that. 3. So yeah, that's me, ArchAngel Manga, signing off. See you later.